Alright, we back at the station again. We got more cases coming up. We got one right here that says teen charged as adult after high school student fatally shot. Sure. The violence must stop, bro. Zoom it up close for you. You feel me? The violence must stop. It must stop, man. Or maybe it's not gonna stop, but we can at least slow it down a bit. Damn. Let's see what's happening with it.
Developing tonight, a teenager arrested in the deadly shooting of a 16-year-old in Upper Darby. The victim identified as Khalif Webster, a sophomore at Upper Darby High School. And Kelly, the suspect, 17 years old, is being charged as an adult. What else did you learn about this case today and how it escalated so quickly?
Well, Sheba, court documents did reveal some new details about the moments before and after 16-year-old Khalif Webster was killed and what the alleged shooter, 17-year-old Michael Nixon, might have said beforehand. Police would not release any details today about motive or whether or not the pair knew each other, but they did reinforce again that this was preventable.
Sure, they definitely knew each other, bro. Come on.
We're here today talking about a tragedy that should have never happened.
Upper Darby Township Police identifying 17-year-old Michael Nixon as the person they say is responsible for shooting and killing 16-year-old Khalif Webster, a short walk from his home on Sunday afternoon.
Two families have been shattered.
Yeah.
And Khalif Webster, like I said, will never get to enjoy life. We'll never get to go to college. We'll never have a family. We'll never be able to do all the things that he should have been able to do if it wasn't for the cowardly act of Michael Nixon.
Court documents revealed just before 3 p.m.
Should just fight that junk out like they used to.
Webster was riding a miniature dirt bike down Pine Street to Long Lane.
Sure, my bad. Hold on.
When surveillance video captured a person saying, quote, "You that young bull I seen the other day? You better not be." Documents say he said something muffled, then there's a gunshot. The video shows the shooter.
Damn. Hopefully it ain't no mistaken identity.
Police identified as Nixon, putting what is believed to be a firearm in his waistband, and then calling someone on his phone saying, quote, "I just shoot somebody in their chest, bro." Within hours of the homicide, investigators say they identified Nixon as a suspect, capturing him on numerous residential and business cameras. And on Tuesday, police executed 2 search warrants.
Wow.
One on Oxford Street. The chaos captured in this video provided to Fox 29, where a family member was taken into custody for questioning, police say. And another on North State Road, where another family member was taken into custody.
That's a certified YN right there. Damn. Look at the eyes. He ain't playing.
Documents say that woman told police Nixon called her after the shooting and she picked him up, and Nixon admitted to her that he shot someone that he had an argument with a day or two prior.
See? And they talking about, oh, do they know each other or not? He might not know the dude's name, but he definitely know the dude's face if you're targeting him.
Police say Nixon turned himself in alone at police headquarters Tuesday night.
We got to figure out another way to resolve conflict. Guns and...
You fight it out. This is what happens when you tell children, oh man, don't fight, don't fight. Nah, they needed a fight. They needed a fight. Because you tell them don't fight, they're going to turn to something else. He turned to this.
Not the answer, and it's just...
Hey, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
It breaks my heart. Mayor
Ed Brown and police say they sat down with Webster's devastated family, who were not ready to comment about the arrest today.
You know, they spent considerable time telling me how special he was, and he wasn't a troublemaker or not a bad kid at all. He had a bright future.
Their child went out to play like every child should, and he didn't come home.
Well, that's sad, man.
Now, documents say detectives found fired cartridge casings and 2 handgun frames in the home that Nixon lived.
Hey. So he shot at him several times, bro. Hold on, let's see.
Child should, and he didn't come home.
Cartridges?
Now, documents say detectives found fired cartridge casings and 2 handgun frames in the home that Nixon lived in. Police say the investigation is active and ongoing, and more charges could come for those responsible for keeping hidden Nixon in the days leading to his arrest. He is being held in a detention center without bond. Jason.
Kelly Rule, thank you.
So, I almost thought they said her name was Kelly Rowland or Kelly Rule. Well, thanks, Kelly. But damn, man. So, Yeah, it's like back in the day, man. Of course, before my time, cats used to fight it out and shake hands. Sure. That's how I saw it in them 80s movies. Those, even some of the 90s movies. Some of them. But mostly in 80s movies, 70s movies, they fight it out and shake hands after. That's what they did. I think that's what happened on that one movie, too. What's that movie? It came out in the 2000s. It's on Disney Channel called, what's it called? Step It Up or something? Had Corbin Blue on it. Dude with the curls. Not a Jerry curl, but he had curls going on. He was the main character on that movie, and he had a bully going on, messing with him throughout the movie. He didn't resort to pulling no firearm. No, the boys just fought it out. That's what they did. They fought it out, and shook hands at the end. At least I think they did. Let's watch this back one more time.
Developing
it's a short
tonight,
clip.
a teenager arrested in the deadly shooting of a 16-year-old in Upper Darby. The victim identified as Khalif Webster, a sophomore at Upper Darby High School. And Kelly, the suspect, 17 years old, is being charged as an adult. What else did you learn about this?
Oh, as an adult?
This case today and how it escalated so quickly.
It's ugly.
Well, Sheba, court documents did reveal some new details about the moments before and after 16-year-old Khalif Webster was killed and what the alleged shooter, 17-year-old.
Also, one was 17, one was 16.
Michael Nixon might have said beforehand.
I like that name, Michael Nixon. Is he related to Richard Nixon?
Police would not release any details today about motive or whether or not the pair knew each other, but they did reinforce again that this was preventable.
Man, they knew each other, and that jump was straight up beef. Come on, man. That's what that was.
Talking about a tragedy that should have never happened.
Upper Darby Township Police identifying 17-year-old Michael Nixon as the person they say is responsible for shooting and killing 16-year-old Khalif Webster, a short walk from his home on Sunday afternoon.
Shoot. Wait. So that happened outside the school.
16-year-old Khalif Webster, a short walk from his home on Sunday afternoon.
Two families
damn.
have been shattered. And Khalif Webster, like I said, will never get to enjoy life. Will never get to go to college, will never have a family, will never be able to do all the things that he should have been able to do if it wasn't for the cowardly act of Michael Nixon.
Yeah, facts, man, facts. You know me, though. Most people. Most people should be ashamed of themselves because you know what they're gonna do. They're gonna try to make it a skin tone thing. That's what they're gonna try to make it. Yep, but this is a color thing. I'm like, man, I believe we're all the same color, just different shades of it. The Lord don't make no mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody can be my skin tone, right? They can have a sibling that's several shades darker, several shades lighter. Matter of fact, I don't think I've ever seen siblings that was the exact same skin tone unless they were twins, right? And even sometimes with twins, one be a different skin tone, slightly. All the same color though, different shades. Forget all that though, man. This is just beef. That's it. It's just beef. And it went wrong. These days cats, they don't like to fight. So it best to walk away, dog.
Documents reveal just before 3 p.m., Webster was riding a miniature dirt bike down Pine Street to Long Lane when surveillance video captured a person saying, quote, "You that young bull I seen the other day? You better not be." Documents say he said something muffled, then there's a gunshot. The video shows the shooter, police identified as Nixon, putting what is believed to be a firearm in his waistband and then calling someone on his phone saying, quote, "I just shoot somebody in their chest, bro." Within hours of the homicide, investigators say they identified Nixon as a suspect, capturing him on numerous residential and business cameras. And on Tuesday, police executed 2 search warrants.
2, not 1, 2. I guess a search warrant for each gun.
Captured in this video provided to Fox 29, where a family member.
I guess he got a search warrant for each gun because he got 2 guns, right?
Was taken into custody for questioning. Police say and another on North State Road, where another family member was taken into custody. Documents say that woman told police Nixon called her after the shooting and she picked him up, and Nixon admitted to her that he shot someone that he had an argument with a day or two prior.
Don't they call that snitching? Hey, but salute to her for telling the truth. Keeping it honest. Free Tory.
Police say Nixon turned himself in alone at police headquarters Tuesday night.
We got to figure out another way to resolve conflict. Guns are not the answer, and it's just senseless. It breaks my heart.
Mayor Ed Brown and police say they sat down with Webster's devastated family, who were not ready to comment about the arrest today.
You know, they spent considerable time telling me how special he was, and he wasn't a troublemaker or not a bad kid at all. He had a bright future.
Their child went out to play like every child should.
I mean, you don't have to be a troublemaker. You could just decide one day, I'm going to show this person how hard I am. Even if you hard as nails, sometimes it's best to just keep it to yourself. I think that's in Proverbs somewhere, right? They don't say it in those exact words, but basically, they say, you know, if you got a bunch of wisdom, why flaunt it, right? Or you got a lot of strength, why flaunt it? It's somewhere in Proverbs, but I forget where.
And he didn't come home.
Now, documents say detectives found fired cartridge casings and 2 handgun frames in the home that Nixon lived in. Police say the investigation is active and ongoing, and more charges could come for those responsible for keeping hidden Nixon in the days leading to his arrest.
Word? Oh, they're trying to hide him out, huh?
He is being held in a detention center without bond. Jason.
Damn, some more folk about to get in trouble. Oof. Well then. Yeah, you can't be hiding people, man. People committing a crime, they should not be hid or hidden at your house. Yeah. You know, a lot of people there see like people of 2 different skin tones. And they go crazy over it. Not me. I'm just like, look, there's 2 people. One life ruined and the other one life taken away. That's why I see people. Of course I see skin tone too. Duh. I see that. I ain't about to lie like one of these people. Some of these people be lying. I don't see color. That's the first thing I see because I'm not colorblind. And even a colorblind person, they can see the shade of somebody's skin tone. The Lord is a genius. He made us different shades of the same color. Even a colorblind person know the difference. So don't need to lie about that. But it's not the most important thing here. The most important thing here, somebody got shot, and now somebody probably gonna do life. This is ugly. Somebody's boy, they shouldn't wait to release this story. They couldn't wait to release this story. It was getting crazy with the 21 odds of it being the other way. So I don't know what they mean by that. Somebody said, well, I wonder if he will be released on home confinement and still be allowed to attend school. Hey, who knows? I mean, you're underage. Somebody said, when he's getting out on a fraction of the original bail to go live in a mansion as a reward. That's possible. I get what they're saying though. They try to say is his family gonna try to do what the Carmelo guy's family. Hey, if they do, it is what it is. Somebody shouldn't have called him the C word. But he did? Somebody said, did he really call him that? Somebody said, you got proof? Somebody said, as much as Anthony did. I'm not even sure if Anthony did that. But then again, he probably did. I don't know. Before this, remember Austin. But Austin will never be forgotten. Somebody said, no one cares about Austin. Somebody said, except we know, and you know that isn't true. I mean, anybody this happens to, they would not be forgotten because they got family. Like, duh. People like us, we probably gonna forget. It might come back to our mind years later or months later, but we're not gonna think about it every day because that's not our family member. But to some people, they're gonna be like, "Oh, that's my family," because he's the same skin tone as me. I'm like, I don't think like that. The only how I see somebody as my family is if you're in Christ. I don't know for sure if anybody in that situation was in Christ or for Christ. I don't know. I'm not going to assume it either. Some of us, all you Anthony supporters also support Nixon, right? Good point. Good point. Good question. He a YN, both YNs. Hey, I don't care who the figure is. You do something stupid like that, you a YN by default. It don't matter if you're white skin, black skin, tan skin. It don't matter. Hold on, let me get this damn charger right quick. Hold on. There you go. That's a good question, though. So, I'm sure you support Nixon, too. Ha! It's the best rage bait. Yeah, man. People need to stop falling for that stuff. I don't fall for that stuff. I know what they're trying to do. Supposedly did they start the GoFundMe page yet? How much has the bleep made? Don't know. It's possible. It's possible. Somebody's a self-defense, probably. I don't know. Somebody's like, Camelo, stay hunting y'all. They kind of do. He kind of do. I'm like, I don't think that guy's the first guy to even do anything like that. I'm sure you had serial killers of all skin tones who've been funded by their fans. Funded. Money on the books while they're locked up. I'm talking about more money on their books than somebody that didn't even commit a heinous crime. Nobody don't talk about that, though. And if people do talk about it, they get overshadowed by crap like this. Somebody said the unusual suspects. I'm like, no. No. It's the usual suspect. Why? The humankind always doing something that they don't need to do. So it is the usual suspect. You think you're gonna get me with that? You can't get me with that, man. You're gonna get somebody with that who practices colorism. I don't practice that. So they're clearly self-defense. That's what I'm saying. Dude wasn't gonna do that for nothing, man. But I don't think it was self-defense though, because he caught the dude on a dirt bike. If you're on a dirt bike, there's nobody attacking you unless he tried to run him over with it. Maybe if he was riding his way real fast, trying to hit him with it, and he blasted him, then that's self-defense. But I don't know. We don't have proof if it's self-defense or not. This is the second person that said that he called him the C word, though. He's like, my man, were you there? Somebody said self-defense, give him bail and start or go. And then what's crazy is people compare the C word to the N word. You can't compare that to that. I mean, you can, but bro, that don't compare to that, bro. Not even close. Yeah, both hurt people's feelings, and it's disrespectful to people, but one really don't compare to the other one, bro. Nah. I know people say, you just saying that because you're this skin tone, but it's like, maybe you're right, maybe. But I believe even if I was like white skinned, I still see it that way. I'd be like, nah, that word ain't strong as that other word, man. Nah. We ever heard why this happened? Maybe he'll claim self-defense. Yeah. We don't know the facts. Somebody gonna say in the comments, are you a fool? So the thing is, the bleep is the one who approached the victim. I knew somebody was gonna call somebody a name. Somebody said that's very rare. That's not rare. That happen every day. Especially in the hood. They walk up on people and just open fire. But he shot him with a cleat sharpener. What the frick is that? I've heard that too. Since he was caught having a knife at school shortly before this happened, I'm guessing it wasn't a cleat sharpener. Somebody said, somebody said, don't know how you think it's normal to even try to justify this. I mean, you know, people gonna justify it, man. Somebody said the fatigue is real. Yeah. I'm sick of young folks doing this to each other too, or just people in general. Somebody said, "Where's all the faithful Carmelo supporters? That what's faithful? This is what y'all wanted, right? The who supporters? Carmelo supporters, right? He said this is what they wanted. I don't get it. Saying the C word like that. Well. So just for Austin. Well, these big time trolls in here, bro. This video has nothing to do with Austin, man. Somebody said, where's his 500,000 fundraiser? Hey, he might get it. He might. He must have been bullied. Possibly. If it were in reverse, he'd be out roaming the streets or with his family. I can't say that's. I don't think that's. What's the word I'm looking for? That's not guaranteed. I don't think that's guaranteed. It could happen though, and I'm sure it has happened before, but that's not guaranteed that would happen. That he'll be straight out. And then also depend on the state too. Certain states will let you rat out after doing something stupid like that. Certain states though, you get 3 strikes, you're out of here. Somebody, I can't believe he bullied him into shooting him. Wait, who? Somebody said dads don't teach them. That's what I said myself. That's what I said. These boys can't even fight. Somebody South African refugee. What? What I have to do with anything? Somebody, you must be joking. I'm saying, like, what's going on? Somebody dads ain't there to begin with. White, Spanish, or black. Yeah, facts. That's the best comment I've seen on here. These other comments, these people don't think straight. The only thing they focused on is Austin, and Austin not even in this story. And this whole story is reversed. So how can you even try to compare it? It's reversed. In the Austin story, a so-called white kid dies. In this story, a so-called black kid dies. Not the same thing. And it's the same thing to me because, you know, I don't believe in race. But to them, they're like, I'm happy this happened. This is justice for Austin. I'm like, dude, that kid that passed in this situation, I don't think he knows Austin at all. Or has anything to do with what happened to Austin. But in their minds, he has something to do with what happened to Austin. I'm like, he has nothing to do with it. This one dude does this, all of a sudden, everybody that's around his skin tone has something to do with it. I have nothing to do with that. I have nothing to do with that. I have nothing to do with this. I'm just reacting to it. So, but they did warn him. Touch me and see what happens. He's clearly the victim. He said that? Wait. Didn't that guy in the Austin story say the same thing? These people ain't making no sense in here. He called him Toby. What the fuck? What the heck? Is that guy's name? Somebody said white people can't be racist, Toby. What? I don't get what these people. I don't understand certain comments on here. Somebody said, if it was reverse, he'd be out on the street. I guess a lot of Twitter followers then came over here to YouTube. Never in the street. They're always online. They're never in the street. They're never at the courthouses. They're never in the freaking C-SPAN buildings. Nothing. What the heck comments on the internet gonna do for your cause? I guess the dude passing the red ain't enough. they want to do to just walk away free. It's like, dude, nobody is walking away free if they do something like this. Unless they're the police. And a lot of the times they get locked up. It's about self-defense. Keep that same energy. Hey. Can't argue that. But at the same time, there's no need to scoop to other people's level, man. That's what they want. And they really don't know who these people are. They could be agents. They might not even be from the country. Trying to stir up a freaking so-called race war. Which the only so-called race war that was vital was a civil war. That was vital. Because they were trying to end slavery. You know, that one was needed. Any other civil war, man, that junk ain't needed, man. Junk stupid. But that smoke clear. The people who started it in the first place, they're going to take everything. They're going to rebuild. They're going to own your mama house. Even though you probably used to own your mama house. You know, you probably got that house your dad, you inherited from your dad. Now they got it. The people who helped started this BS. People don't think straight. So as Nixon was the finish of a violent teen. I mean, he took that guy out. That makes him violent too. So much way to dehumanize a whole group of people. That's what they do these days. And you notice their faces are never shown on the comments. Never. It is what it is, man. You know, I can't allow. People in general can't allow comments like that to piss them off or make them feel bad because, like I said, you don't know who's behind that account. You don't know if they're an agent, spy. You don't know who they could be. They could be AI that's been programmed to just come in here to make people just dislike each other off of skin tone. And that's not cool. That's not the way of the Father. That's Satan's plan for people to just divide off of skin tone. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. If cats want to take that bait, that's their business. It'll probably be the same people who take the mark of the beast in the end. Wait, you telling me this mark allows me to take out all the, you know, all the blacks? I'll take it. Did it flip it around? Wait, this mark allows me to take out all them whites? I'll take it. At the end of the day, they ended up in the same room. They're like, wait a minute. Y'all lie to us. Well, too late. You already got the mark of the beast. You can't back out now. Now you're hellbound. Yeah, anybody who thinks that way, man, you're just headed for the wide path that leads to destruction, man. But hey, you know what the Lord do after a while? He give you over to a reprobate mind. No reprobates that make comments like that. Those reprobates. They prefer their way over the Lord's way, but it is what it is. You can only warn them so many times until you dust off your sandals. Somebody said, no, the verse said, it's not a comment. It's a verse. Galatians 2, 3:28. And it says, there is neither Jew nor Gentile, neither slave or free, nor is there male and female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus. And then we got some other translations down here. Say the same thing. Same thing. Yeah. Say the same thing. There is neither Jew nor Greek. There is neither bond nor free. There is neither male nor female. For ye are all one in Christ Jesus. Every knee will bow regardless of what your skin tone is. Regardless of whether you practice colorism or whether you don't. But sure, may the Lord be with both families. I know both families are just struck with this bad news and their whole year been ruined. maybe the whole next decade. Sad to see. Shouldn't be like this, but hey. You know it was going to be like this ever since Cain did what he did to Abel. You knew it was going to be like this. You knew it was. I just thank God for the rainbow. Because it don't matter how good you can swim. If it wasn't for that rainbow, oh man. You're going to chug gallons until you black out of ocean waters. But we got the John 3:36 right here. You know what I'm saying? And it reads, the one who believes in the Son has eternal life, but the one who rejects the Son will not see life. Instead, the wrath of God remains on him. That's it. That's all you need to do is obey the Son of the Most High, who is Yeshua, the Lamb, the King, the great high priest. See, if both young men was obeying the Lord, they would both be free. They'll both be that much closer to graduating. But it just did not go out like that or go down like that. Instead, Satan had his way in the whole thing. Yeah, pray for both families, man. Pray that the man, what's his name? Pray that the man that got arrested can get his life right with the Lord. You know, it ain't too late for him. It ain't too late for him. But if he don't turn away from the ways of this world, from the ways of Satan, then hey, he be headed for the wide path. But the goal is for him to get on the narrow path. He still got time. May peace be upon you all and blessings from the Most High.